Hi, I'm Callum from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and today I'll be doing the handover on the Elddis Avantgarde 200. So as we walk around the driver's side of the vehicle, first thing you're going to get to is your flush reservoir. So this is the liquid for your flush on your cassette toilet. So you open it up and you fill it with either the pink liquid, and then you top that up with some water, and that is your flush liquid for your cassette loo. And below is your cassette toilet. So there's your cassette toilet. So to get it out, you'd make sure the blade's closed on the inside of the toilet, lift the lever, slide it out, slide the cassette chamber out and empty. Take the top off, go to your waste disposal point, which is normally behind or beside the toilet block. Press the little yellow button at the back, stops it glugging, gives it a bit of air into the cassette and gives it a consistent flow. Tip it out. Once you have tipped it out, if you put some water in, give it a rinse, tip out again, and then if you're using the liquid, you'd fill your cap full of liquid, which is a measuring stick, pour it into here and then push it back into the vehicle. And once it clicks in, you know it's in position. Above you do have your fresh water intake. So you'd loosen this, be able to take that off, and then you put a hose pipe in there until it overflows, or until you're happy there's enough water on board. You can see how much water is on board by the main control panel on the water gauge. And then you do have a hookup point for your TV aerial. So if you're on a super site, you can get some coax and hook up from the van to the post and use their TV aerial if you are struggling to get a signal. And you've got a 12-volt external socket there. Coming to here, this is your hookup box and where your battery lives and your battery locker, and they all open with the brass key there. And you do have your hookup point, so to hook the vehicle up, you'd slide the lever, the collar back and push it on and off. Always hook the vehicle up first, then the sight, and obviously do it in reverse to unhook the vehicle, as we would never want you walking around with a live lead. And in here you do have your leisure battery. So this is the battery that operates the motorhome, which is tied in there. Moving further along, you've got your LPG, so this is your gas locker, liquid petroleum gas. And you'd open it up and you can get 2 bottles in there. You'd obviously make sure that your bottles are securely tied in when you are travelling and you've put them in to stay. And then this, you've got a bottle top regulator, so to connect the regulator to the bottle, it's a left hand thread and hand tighten, and then turn on and off at the top of the bottle. Make sure that you do turn it off when you are travelling. And then you've got space for a second bottle in the corner there. Coming further around the vehicle, the passenger side. So you must take this cover off when heating the water on gas. So what you need to do is you need to pinch the top, as the diagram says. So pinch it and then just slide it off. Obviously this comes off to allow the fumes out when heating the water on gas. And you could put that in the door pocket of the passenger side. And obviously make sure you do put it on for travelling and obviously washing the vehicle, as you don't want to get any water in here. And then you've got some storage underneath the bench seat at the back. You've got your fridge vent covers, so these can come off in the summer. So what these are to protect the element of the fridge behind. So from November to March I would advise them to be put on, as it protects the element, and you can still use the fridge with them on. And then when it gets to warmer temperatures, if you just get a screwdriver turn them and these covers will lift off and it'll stop the fridge from overheating. To lock your door, it's the big key, this one, the square one, to lock the door, and it's to the front to lock and then to the back to unlock. And then I'll fill them up with diesel. It's on the front passenger wing and it would open with the ignition key, and in there you can fill with diesel fuel. And then should you ever want to lift the bonnet, we'll have a quick look underneath the bonnet. To release the bonnet, just underneath the steering wheel column, so it's just above the clutch pedal, and then that just release the bonnet. And then there's a small red clip here which is your secondary catch, which you'd lift up to release the bonnet. Put your stay on, keep the bonnet open, and in here you do have your engine battery, so should you ever need to jump start it, jump it off the battery. You've got your brake fluid, your power steering fluid, your oil dipstick for checking your levels, and your oil filler here. You've got your radiator coolant, and the main one you're going to need is your screen wash, which is in the corner here. And of course you do have your weight plate being here, so this is your Fate weight plate, or should I say Peugeot, and it's 2.8, so it's 2.8 tonne. If you were to put a tow bar on it, tow anything, you can tow up to 4.4 tonne, and you've got your front and back axle weights there. Once inside the vehicle, the switch by the habitation door is a 12 volt kill switch. So this stops any battery drain. Obviously make sure it is on, and then you will get life at the control panel. If not, this is turned off. But when storing the vehicle, you can turn it off to stop any battery drain. Coming inside the vehicle, so behind the wardrobe is your control panel. So you've got 3 choices on 3 different buttons. So you've got aux and vehicle, so this is the battery you want to use. So auxiliary is leisure battery and vehicle battery. You always want to run the motorhome off the leisure battery, which is the auxiliary battery, and never the vehicle, as you have a chance of flattening the vehicle battery. And then the middle one is your water. So at the top it shows you the volts in your leisure battery, and then this little rocker switch will then tell you how much water is on board. So there's not a lot of water on board at the moment. And then if you put the pump on to run, as soon as you open the tap, the micro switch will click in and it will start the pump off, and it will bring water to the tap. You've also got a 12 volt point there, so you will need a 12 volt adapter, with it being the old style 12 volt. Got a coax for your TV aerial and a 240 socket. Inside your wardrobe is where you'll find your locations of your RCDs and MCBs on mains 240 power. So if anything did trip out, try here before you try your site. And you do have your freestanding table there, which you can use at the back of the vehicle or outside if it's a nice day, and the legs just pull open exactly like an ironing board, and you've got your hanging rail in your wardrobe. So to operate your toilet, you've got your Fedford handle here, which is your pump. So it's a manual pump, so you lift up and push, and as you can see it's filling up with the green flush liquid, which either can be green, which is the eco-friendly, or pink, obviously diluted, so you can fill that up. And then you've got this grey lever which you'd slide to the right, which opens the cassette trapdoor and allows it into the cassette. But to use the toilet, you'd always flush first to lubricate the blade, open the blade, use the toilet, flush the toilet, and then close the blade. And then obviously on the back here, this will show a light once the cassette is full and requires to be changed. You've also got toiletry storage and your shower head here also goes back into the tap to act as the tap, like so, and then you can turn it on and it'll bring the water through. Obviously in the winter what you want to do is you want to take the shower head off, pull the hose out and allow the hose to lie in the shower tray. This stops any water from building up in the pipes. And then to operate your True-O-Matics gas fire, you've got your temperature here and your sparker piezo igniter, and you can look through here to see if it's lit or not. So you can see the little blue dot here, there, that means it's on. So what you do is you turn to the temperature, so turn it on and ignite. And then there you will hear it roar, and that is the fire working on gas. So this is, i.e. when wild camping you would use this as your gas heater. This is your only source of heating, which is gas on this model only, so you would use it when hooked up or when not hooked up, as there isn't an electric element in this motorhome for your heating. And then the two switches beside your cooker are your ultra store, which is to store water, heat water. So you've got your on off here, and as you can see at the bottom it says remove cowl cover before use. So this is your gas side here, this one's your gas. So you've got your temperature of your water, which is 70, 60, 50, 30, 40 and 30. So normally you would use it on 70 to do your dishes and about 50 to have a shower in the vehicle. And then you've got this side, which is just your electric side to the water, so you can't actually put the temperature in that you want, you just turn it on and it heats the water. So this, if you're wild camping, this if you're hooked up, or you can put both on together should you be in desperate need of hot water. Underneath your oven is where you'll find your two red gas taps for your fridge and your cooker. These are mainly for when the vehicle is serviced or habitation checked to make sure that it's gas and electric and everything's working accordingly. The gas will be checked. But if you need to isolate the gas, isolate it at the bottle, just to be safe. And to light your oven you will need a match, and then you just turn it on. So you might want to get yourself a igniter clicker with a long reach to light the oven. It's the same with the hob and the grill, which I'll show you later in a second. And then as you can see, that is your 4 gas burner hob lit. See, these sides are just to protect it when using a pan, stop the heat and the splash of oil and so on. And then what you would do is turn them off, allow it to cool before you put the glass lid down, otherwise it can shatter. To operate your Electrolux fridge, so for mains electric use you turn on the green switch, and that is 240 volt. And then next to it, the little red one, you turn this on when the engine is running, and it's the battery, which is from the engine battery alternator, and it's designed to keep the temperature the same when departing. So it's no good just filling it full of your shopping and then putting this on and expecting your shopping to be chilled by the time you get to your site, because it won't be. You have to manually hook the van up the day before or 2 days before, put the fridge on electric or gas, put your shopping in, allow it to chill over the day or 2 days or the night before, and then you can turn on the battery when the engine's running, and it will act as a cool box and keep the temperature that it's already chilled at. Obviously this is just your temperature of the fridge, so you've got 1 to 7, You've got your lock there, so you've got your travel lock when you push this down, and then you just press the green button in, which will release like so. Like so, so you push it in from the side, not down, from the side. So I push it back, shut it, you push it back from the side, which releases it. And then should you want to light on gas, i.e. you're wild camping and you haven't got any other source, what you need to do is, this is a little pilot hole here, so you'd look into there and then you'd turn and ignite until you can see the blue light down the pilot hole. And also, when winterizing the vehicle, make sure that you clean the fridge out, leave no food in the fridge. And then what you need to do is you need to make sure that you don't shut the door, so you need to put something in the way of the door to allow ventilation in and out the fridge when it's in storage and standing. Otherwise you will get mold and bacteria growing in your fridge, so just leave the door open ajar. And you do have storage here for your chopping board and sink cover, which then goes on there. And to make the rear lounge into a bed, what you need to do is pull the section here, and then the lats will come out. So lift that cushion out the way and slide the lats out to here like so, and then what you do is you'd use the backrests put them into the space, turn them upside down. Along with these cushions, turn them upside down as it gives you a flatter surface to sleep on. And then there you do have your double bed. Also, if you look down here, this in the bag here is your toolkit for changing a wheel for the motorhome. So for the Peugeot, this is your Peugeot toolkit in there. On the passenger side rear at the back lounge, so where your cover is, your cowl's out here for your boiler. This is your boiler, holds 10 litres of water at any one time. Obviously in the winter, in the colder months, you don't want that 10 litres of water to freeze. So what you need to do is you need to drop your water. And to drop your water, you'd lift this toggle up so it's lying down like so. You'd lift it up like this, and it'll deposit the 10 litres of water directly underneath the chassis. Otherwise, if you leave the water to freeze in the boiler, it can split the boiler and pipes, and there could be a risk of damaging the boiler, so do drain it off. To operate your reading lights, they are all individually switched, so just make sure you've got the main control panel on and they'll operate. And then these lights, I've got little switches on, so you've got one there and you've got one here. And then to open your skylight at the back, loosen the levers off, which releases the window, and then you can push it up, or you can pull them and you can use the bar to push the window open. And then this can sit into here, so it'll sit just above on these two catches. So should it be a nice day, you can lock that in, and then the window won't blow open, but will give you a nice ventilation. Obviously when traveling, or if it's windy, make sure your skylights are closed, and definitely when you're on the road, as they're only plastic, heavy gust of wind will just rip them off the vehicle, and they are very expensive to repair or replace. So just make sure they're shut, along with all your other windows, doors and lockers. And then you do have your bed above the cab, which you can push in. Your ladder clips on like so, so you clip it on and then you'd lock it with these levers, pull the levers off, lift it off, and then you can then lift the mattress up, fold it over. So if you fold that over into the luton area there, so push it back and then this can push back to give you access in and out the cab more easily. Now in the cab, obviously to lock it on at night time, you just push the pins down in the doors on both passenger and driver. You've got your manual windows and your door handle. To black it out, you've got your curtains on an evening, and then you do have your lights, so your side lights and your main beam, your headlight adjustment and your rear fog switch, wipers. So this is your main beam. So when you want to flash or you want to put your main beam on when you're on a dark road, you pull it towards you and pull it down. So it would end up like that. And that'll keep your main beam on. And then you've got your indicators on the front one. 5-speed manual gearbox with up and lift into reverse. So lift the collar and into reverse. Hazards. Distribution of where you want the air to go to, your temperature and your fan speed. And then below you do have your radio, so you can press SRC and it'll skip between FM and CD. And you can turn it on and off here with the radio.
Salad, Subway, more than
like so, and there's your volume, so you can scan through your radio channels and press 1 to 6 to save, or you can press REL, which will bring the face of the radio out. And obviously make sure you put the right side in first to then put the radio back in. 12 volt here, and then you've got your lockable glove box with 2 cup holders in there as well. And to turn your passenger seat round, so you pull the clasp back, you then pull the seat forward and you'd slide it round like so, and it'll go into the back of the motorhome.